Hello and welcome everyone to Odoo Dubai webinar. So today is one of our first webinars to talk about different industries. We're gonna be going into details of industries and how they can use ERPs and Odoo in specific. So today we are focused on the wholesale and retail. Quickly, my name is Karim. This is my colleague.
My name is Mohammed Al-Nabilsi, and we are both part of the business advisory team here in Odoo Dubai.
Yep. As I was saying, I'm from the business advisory team, Karim Radi. My email is kry@odoo.com.
And I am Mohammed Al-Nabilsi, also part of the business advisory team, and my email is mkan@odoo.com.
Perfect. All right, so first of all, to start, I would like everyone here to go to menti.com, so menti.com, and it's going to be asking you to log in a code, and that code is 69245110. So I'm going to wait a few minutes until people log in. We're going to have a quick questionnaire where we can actually know more about our attendees and know more how we can have a better webinar to actually benefit you guys. So I'm going to leave it on the screen for a few seconds and then we will start. All right, so if we go to our so again, it's menti.com, menti.com, and the code is 69245110. It's gonna be asking you to introduce yourself. So first thing we'd like to know is a little bit more about you and your company. So which industry are you in? How many employees is your company? And what are you expecting from this webinar? All right, so the next one is, do you have a software in your company? So right now, we're just trying to understand a little bit more of what is your current software situation in the company. Are you already using Odoo? Are you using a different ERP? You have different softwares for different departments, or you don't have a software at all? So I'll leave it here for a few seconds. I can see we have a couple of people that are already using Odoo. That's great to hear. Some people are using different ERPs. That's also good.
I think Odoo is leading, Karim.
That's great. All right, and we see a lot of companies actually have different softwares for different departments. So for example, a specific CRM for the sales department, specific software for accounting, specific software for inventory handling, and so on. So yeah, I think the most people here already have Odoo. Again, that's good to hear. But we'll be explaining a little bit more about how Odoo will be able to help you maybe even further. We have a couple of people that don't have a software at all. We're more than happy to explain a little bit more about that. So last one is we're just trying to understand what language we should conduct the webinar in. So if English is okay, please choose that. If English is a problem, then we can switch to Arabic. All right, so far English is okay is what's leading. All right, sounds good. It looks like we are going to stick to English for the rest of the webinar. Thank you so much for your participation in our questionnaire and our Menti. So let's go back to our presentation here. All right, so let's start with talking about the agenda of today's webinar. So first of all, my colleague Mohammed here is going to help us a little bit with the workflows that he goes in day to day while he's speaking to Odoo's customers and Odoo's future customers. We're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of implementing an ERP and specifically Odoo. Then also Mohammed is going to take us through a demonstration of how Odoo can help trading companies. And we're going to have a quick Q&A session at the end. All right, so Muhammad, before we go in the workflows and so on, what are the main industries, or what are the main trading companies that you deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Well, thank you, Kareem, for the introduction. And to start off, of course, we're going to be tackling the wholesale and retail sector. But underneath this sector, of course, you have companies in several industries, including the construction industry, chemicals, oil and gas, technology and telecommunications, machinery, spare parts, and of course, food and beverages. So these are few industries that we usually come across on our day-to-day analysis with our clients.
That's great. Well, based on what you've learned so far, you've built this flowchart of explaining what these companies do in a generalized workflow. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've built there?
Sure. So again, as a wholesale or retail company, you have similar workflows. So I've included both in this workflow. And as you can see that the workflow starts from the supplier or manufacturer. Of course, the supply chain can go backwards to the raw materials and so on, but we wanted to start here just to analyze the flow for the wholesaler and retailers. So usually it starts with the wholesaler requesting through a procurement order, requesting certain products from the supplier agreeing to supply these products and providing a quotation, which turns later on to a sales order, and then the supplier initiating a delivery to our wholesaler or to our distributor. Now this flow is also replicated in a very similar manner to our retailer. Now our retailer also requests certain products from the wholesaler agrees to provide them, delivers them to the retailer, and then the retailer has two main channels of sales. So first of all we have the B2B channel, where they're selling to other businesses, usually through price offers or quotations, and the other channel is through the point of sale. I'd like also to add a third channel, which is now prominent, e-commerce. So now many retailers also sell online, which is also supported by Odoo.
Sounds great. Sounds good. All right. So usually, what do you think companies can do to digitalize their company, or how can they actually basically be more digitalized or go paperless or so on and so forth?
All right. So let's discuss the benefits of implementing an ERP in general and Odoo in particular. So in Odoo, we put SMEs at the heart of our focus, our work. And what we try to do is we try to help SMEs focus on what matters the most, growth and expansion.
Okay.
And to do that, of course, you need to have a reliable ERP solution that can help you automate core business operations. It can help you centralize these operations also, so you don't need many softwares. It can help you basically reduce manual work, improve the efficiency of your labor, and of course, a lot more.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well,
all right, so what I want to do here is I want to appoint you CEO of a company.
Good.
All right, so now you are the CEO of a company, and of course, for demonstration purposes, I'd like you to, create a company in your imagination, and I need you to brief me about this company,
Sure.
And maybe then we can also demo our audience and show them how we can map your company's flow to Odoo's modules.
That's good. Actually, recently I've been having some car trouble. I've been going to a lot of garages and a lot of different spare parts companies. So let's say my company is a car spare part. It's called Spare Part Go. What other kind of information would you want to know from me?
Well, what we usually ask our customers through our analysis is we like to know more about how they handle their procurement, their inventory management, and their sales, considering Odoo's main benefit is handling these core business operations. So you might want to give me a brief idea on.
All right. So let's say, for example, my current company buys from the car manufacturers themselves. They store it in a couple of warehouses. They sell it either to other businesses, so to other garages, or to clients directly. And at the end of the flow, obviously, I have an accountant that handles these kind of stuff. And yeah, basically that's it. Nothing in terms of e-commerce yet.
All right. Hopefully later on. So I think what we can do now is we can head to our demo database. which I've created just now.
Okay.
And of course, this database, this is the main interface of Odoo, along with the modules. Of course, the names of the modules are self-explanatory.
Right.
So CRM and sales will help you manage your sales cycle, along with the point of sale, of course, for B2B and B2C channels. You'll have purchase and inventory management to manage the procurement from your vendors, along with stock management, and of course the accounting, customer favorite module, of course, which will help the finance guys manage their day-to-day operations. All right, so what I want to do now, Kareem, is based on the briefing that you just gave me. I want to start from inventory.
Okay.
And the reason I want to do that is because any product that comes in or goes out has to, at one point, pass through my warehouse.
Okay.
So let's go to inventory, and this is the general dashboard of the inventory module in Odoo, and my inventory representatives or officers can of course manage the operations starting from receipts, deliveries, returns if any, and the point of sale orders from this dashboard. Now let's go to the products and let's create a demo product.
Okay.
So you might want to give me one of your highest selling or most selling products.
Well, the most selling product would be the front brakes.
Front brakes.
Yep.
All right. So let's say we have front brakes. All right. And this product, of course, as you mentioned, you buy from vendors and you sell.
Correct.
To customers through several means, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What price do you usually sell this product at?
Let's say I sell it for like 400 dirhams.
All right. So you sell it for 400, and of course the tax has been configured to the UAE, the VAT 5%.
What if I'm not in Dubai?
Well, that's a good question, actually. We can change the tax depending on the country you're in.
Okay, perfect.
To suit your needs. All right, so after we've created the product, let's set a vendor to this product. And as you said, or as you mentioned previously, you said that our vendors are the car manufacturers.
Correct. So basically, my main company that I buy from would be the Abu Dhabi supplier.
All right.
And this is the company that I buy from most of my products.
All right. So let's set Abu Dhabi supplier as our vendor here. Of course, we can add the rest of the vendor information if we wish to, but let's keep it simple.
Sure.
All right. And what's the price you usually buy at?
Let's say I make 100 dirhams, so let's put it at 300 dirhams.
All right. So this is the price you buy at, and of course the delivery lead time, which you can change if you wish to help you with your day-to-day operations.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's save this product.
Before we do that, am I able to actually add a picture to my product? Okay.
That's a good point, actually, because I was getting to that. You can add a picture to your product, so you'll click on the edit button here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go to downloads and let's select this picture.
Nice.
Which looks nice here. All right. So I have my front brake configured. Also, of course, there are many more configurations and features that we can showcase, but I want to keep the flow as simple as possible. So now going back to the products, I have my product here, but I have 0 units on hand.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's time to restock.
Okay.
So let's go to the purchase module and let's start with an RFQ. So
All
now
right.
I'm going to request a quotation from my supplier, Abu Dhabi supplier, and we can type the supplier here, we'll get the supplier here, and we can select the product, which is the front brake. Of course, the price has been populated depending on the price we've added a few seconds ago.
Okay.
But let's buy 10. Okay, I didn't enter 10. Let's buy 10 units of this product. And the tax has been applied. Now I can save this RFQ.
Mm-hmm.
I can send it by email to my vendor.
Okay.
If I wish to digitalize, I can print, give it to the vendor. That's also an option. Or I can simply, for the sake of simplicity, let's say I've sent it to my vendor. Vendor a few days later responded with a quotation, and I decided to turn that into a purchase order.
Sounds good.
So let's confirm this RFQ, turning it into a purchase order. And now I can actually, from this purchase order, I can do 2 main operations.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I can receive these products in my main warehouse.
Okay.
And I can also create a vendor bill or a vendor invoice and register the payment accordingly. So let's receive the product. So we demanded 10. So now after counting, we have received in our warehouse. We can validate that we have received 10, and Let's click on apply. Now this action should increase the stock on hand by 10.
Very good.
So now we have received, but my accountants did not create any bill until now. So now the accountant can also go in, create a bill, set the billing date here. Let's say it's today.
Okay.
They can confirm this bill, and after confirming the bill, they can also register the payment against this vendor bill. And this actually poses a question. Do you usually pay your suppliers via bank transfers or by cash?
So usually it is via bank transfer because I make the order long before. But sometimes if I need like a part or two very quick, I send someone and they pay in cash.
All right. So let's say we've asked for this just right now. So let's pay the vendor by cash. So it's done. The bill has been generated and paid. Okay. So let's recap on the operations we've done so far.
I actually have a couple of questions here.
Sure.
So you have mentioned that we have received the product, but sometimes when I order 10, I receive 9. What would be the situation there?
Well, actually, this is a great question. In that case, what we can do is we have basically an option to match our bill to the received quantities to the ordered quantities.
That's great.
And we call this feature the three-way matching.
Okay.
So we can actually only bill our vendors the quantities that we have received.
Perfect.
We can activate this feature by going to configuration, going to settings, and then three-way matching, which will make sure that I'm not paying anything extra.
That's great. What about that one that I didn't receive? Can Odoo tell me that I'm still waiting on one, or can it generate something else for me to get that one missing?
Yes, so basically you can do that via a back order.
Nice.
Yes, so you have the option to leave it for later and then receive it again. It will be linked to the same purchase order, but in a different transfer number, but you can still receive it. Or if you only received 9 and you wish to only verify those 9 items that you've received,
good,
you can only bill your vendor for those 9.
All right, so that sounds great. All right, now you've mentioned the way I pay. Now on the bigger orders that I make, I don't usually pay upfront. Maybe it's a 50-50, I make a down payment, or I have different plans. Does Odoo support that?
Yes, Odoo supports payment terms which can be configured. So we can configure payment terms 50-50, 70-30, or maybe more complex payment terms involving several installments by percentages or by down payments. So yes, these options are actually supported by Odoo.
Sounds great.
All right. So after going through the procurement process and the inventory management process, now we can actually see that our product is stocked up. So we can start selling, right? So now I want to ask you something. How do your salespeople usually manage their sales cycle? How does it start and how does it end?
All right. So usually
B2B sales in this case.
Okay, sounds good. So what usually happens is I have a salespeople that they call different garages to make sure that they don't need, or actually make sure that they need the products. So they call to a garage, tell them, hey, we just received a big batch of XYZ brakes. How many would you want? So a lot of the times this gets lost because they're on the road trying to go to a meeting. They receive a call that someone needs something, and it gets lost in the way. So currently it's all on the phones. Currently they're using spreadsheets to keep track, so it's not completely efficient.
Well, I can imagine that being hectic. So I think this CRM module will help your salespeople centralize their opportunity tracking, their customer relationship management. It will also help them set reminders, schedule activities, centralize communications with the clients, manage their pipelines effectively, and of course generate quotations and confirm them, turning them into sales order from here. So let's create an opportunity. Let's say I decided to call a certain customer. Let's call this customer A, just for demonstration purposes, and let's fill this customer information here. This customer happens to be me in this case, and the phone number of the customer, and let's add this as an opportunity in our CRM. Now, as a salesperson, how will this benefit me? So first of all, I'll be able to centralize my communication by sending all emails from inside the CRM. Second of all, I can log notes and keep track of every communication that is happening with the client here. And I can also set reminders and schedule activities such as calls, meetings, site visits, or certain reminders, specifics that I can also set with Odoo CRM. All right?
That's great.
So let's say that after 2 weeks of discussions with this customer, with customer A, the customer asked us to submit an official proposal or a quotation and send it by email.
Okay.
All right. So maybe we can take this customer to proposition phase, and we can go to quotations here, and we can create a quotation. So the customer has been populated already. I can set the payment terms. I think this was one of the questions you asked.
Correct.
So we can set the payment terms here, but let's assume that the customer is buying a low quantities, and they'll pay immediately, and we can set a certain expiration date to our offer. So let's add the front brakes that we just bought. Sorry for that. And let's actually sell 3 front brakes to this customer. This is the sales price that we set in the beginning of the demonstration, and we can set a certain discount if this is a special customer. And now I can save this quotation. I can send it by email to the customer if I want to do things paperless, or I can simply turn this quotation into a sales order if I have the customer's confirmation.
Okay.
So let's say that the customer confirmed and this quotation has been turned into a sales order. So now I can do 2 things. And very similarly to the procurement process, here I can also create an invoice, register the payment against this invoice, and I can validate a delivery to my customer.
All right.
So let's start by validating the delivery. My warehouse individuals prepared the order, and now they want to validate. They have loaded it in the truck, and they have delivered it to the customer, and they want to validate that, all right, we have consumed 3 out of this product, and now we can confirm this. We'll disable the SMS, and it's done. So now this should also reflect in my inventory.
Perfect.
So now I've delivered 3 to my customer, and going back to my sales order, I can also invoice my client, a regular invoice, a percentage, or a fixed amount. But let's say for the sake of simplicity, we're creating a regular invoice. And of course we can check out the invoice from here, and we can confirm this invoice and register the payment against this particular invoice. Now similarly, I think your customers will also pay by cash or bank depending on the size.
Exactly, depending on the size.
So let's create a payment, and the invoice has been registered here. So just a point that I'd like to mention, that these actions are not executed by the same person.
Okay.
So the accountants will be handling the creation of bills, registration of payments corresponding to these bills, in addition to the creation of the invoices and the registration of payments corresponding to the invoices. My operations specialist or my warehouse specialist will be handling the validation of deliveries, the validation of receipts, the creation of back orders, as you mentioned, tracking the back orders, and so on.
Actually, I have 2 scenarios that I would like to ask if Odoo supports. I have some clients that are actually big clients that I have contracts with, that they get discounts on the products they buy from me regardless. And sometimes if someone's, let's say, buying more than 50 products, they automatically get some percentage of this discount. Can I automate this, that the salespeople don't have to do it manually?
This is actually a great question, and this can be done from the sales application, which is integrated to CRM, where we can create certain price lists. So we can say that for example, customers in the private sector, I'm going to be offering the following prices, and for customers in the governmental sector, I'll be offering these following prices, and depending on certain quantities, for example, I can offer certain prices, and all my salesperson needs to do is to select that price list on the quotation.
All right, actually that saves me a lot of time. Now, actually, I'm a little concerned about something. I don't think this flow really works in my store. I didn't mention to you that I have a store, but I actually do have a little store that the customers just walk in and ask to buy the brakes. So a quotation and so on is not really useful, I think.
Definitely. I believe that quotations are meant for B2B sales.
Okay.
And in your case, this is a B2C cycle. So to do that, we will do that through our point of sale module.
Question, does all my products automatically appear in the POS, or can I choose?
No, actually, what we do is we set certain products to be available in my point of sale, and other products to be only available through other sales channels.
Okay.
So let's configure the front brakes for the sake of simplicity. Let's configure it as available in point of sale, and let's sell it in the branch. All right. So we can go to sales. I should just tick this here, save it, and now I can go to the
Perfect.
point of sale. All right. So going to the point of sale here, what my cashier would do or my branch manager, they would open the session in the morning. And of course, we can set certain authorizations for employees to access this point of sale based on a password or a badge ID, for example. Now, of course, the point of sale is loading and I can set my opening cash for that day.
Okay.
So let's say I'm starting with 0, it's a slow day, I can open the session and the customer walks in
Mm-hmm.
and decides to buy 2 front brakes, and now the customer wants to proceed to the payment. So here, of course, I can enter the customer information if I wish to keep them in my record.
Okay.
I can generate an invoice for that customer, and or I can simply proceed to the payment where the customer is paying. Let's say a customer is paying by cash. That's validated, and this is my POS receipt. I can generate an invoice and a receipt, and now I can simply proceed to creating a new order.
Very nice. As you're speaking, I have a couple of questions about the actual operations.
Sure.
They're car parts. So most of them have serial numbers that the manufacturers actually warranty on these products. So I need to be able to track by serial numbers. Is that something that I can do?
Definitely. So that's something we can configure in inventory management. Let's
Okay.
just close our session for the day. And let's go to inventory and check that out. Actually, your point is very important for after sales,
Okay.
mainly. And also it's important in the case of food and beverages where we can track by lots, not by serial numbers.
Okay.
Where we need to also monitor our expiration dates of products that are about to expire. So let's go to inventory. Let's go to configurations and settings. And from here, we can actually look up the serial number feature and we can simply activate it. Now, how will it work exactly?
Mm-hmm.
Upon receipt of products, when I'm ordering from my vendors, I will be able to add the serial numbers of each particular part.
Okay.
And when delivering the products, I will also need to select the parts along with their serial number. So I'll get full tracking of what's going in and what's going out.
Perfect. Actually, as you're saying that as well in the POS and everything, I'm just trying to imagine how my employees are going to be able to use that. Currently, we have a very outdated POS machine, and I've seen a lot of people that from like stores at the mall and stuff, they have the little tablets. I think that would be really useful if they're able to do that and go back to the little warehouse and check what's available, check it right away. Does Odoo work on such devices?
Well, actually, this is a great question. And definitely,
Okay.
Odoo can work on an iPad, on a laptop, so you can select the hardware of your choice. And it can have an iOS or an Android operating system, and you can simply just open your iPad, log into the Odoo app, and you can start working there. So you don't need the big device anymore.
Okay. Well, Muhammad, you've learned a little bit about my company. You know what we do, and I can see like we focused on the main operation. But what do you see Odoo helping me as spare parts co other than that?
Well, there are other aspects that Odoo can help
Okay.
in general. In your case, it can also help you manage your human resources, including the leaves of your employees, their payroll, their general expenses, maybe their KPI management or appraisals. Along with that, it can also help you manage the quality of the products coming in, especially if you're dealing with spare parts. I think you need to sometimes go through quality checks. We have also a quality module to do that,
Very good.
along with 20,000 other third-party applications that are highly customized to suit certain or particular needs.
All right. Well, Muhammad, thank you so much. You've
You're
helped my company a lot. I think Odoo would be a perfect fit for my company. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. This has been a quick demonstration of what we do on a day-to-day basis, how we try to understand our clients' company more, how we try to help our clients, and what can Odoo do to help digitalize or make a company go paperless. Now, as Muhammad was saying, remember that what we just did was just the tip of the iceberg. Odoo has more than 20,000 applications on the App Store. We cover a lot of departments. We cover a lot of areas. There's a lot of customizations that can be done to make Odoo fit your company. If you want to know more about that, feel free to email me directly. Again, kry@odoo.com, or Muhammad here.
at mkan@odoo.com.
Perfect. So again, feel free to reach out to our Dubai office. Our Dubai office is a full service office as well as the sales office. So we have our own services department that helps companies implement and configure and consult and so on. Now we've reached the last part of our webinar, which is the Q&A. Right now you guys have two channels to actually ask us questions, either from our chat here on YouTube or actually from the Menti. So I'm gonna grab my phone here and try to see if we have any questions on Menti. And you guys can start asking us questions on the chat here. All right, I see someone asking if the webinar is recorded. Yes, the webinar is recorded and will be available on our Odoo official channel.
On YouTube page, yes.
Someone asking about a supplier number code, so we can add a vendor code, reference number, exactly. I see a lot of people from different parts around the world. That's great. All right. Well, I guess we don't have many questions. I hope everyone here enjoyed our webinar. Again, this is the first webinar of many series. Yes. Exactly. We're going to be focusing on different industries. As you guys saw today was mainly a general trading flow. We're going to be doing much more, having different people from different industries that they are well familiar with, to show us and to help us see how an ERP in general can help the company, and in specific Odoo, like what we did today. Again, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure.
And have a great day.